Hi everyone, Mike Smith here from Xiaomi Websites. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we do. We build websites generally, but we have recently specialized in marketing automation. And I just want to spend a couple of minutes explaining what that is and why that might be something that you should be interested in. First, let's start with a really simple example. Imagine you have a contact form on your website. People come along from whatever source that you use to direct them to that contact page, and they fill that contact form out, and it might be a fairly simple contact form with fields such as name, phone number, and maybe an optional message that they can ask. And they press submit, and what happens after that? Of course, you as the business owner will probably receive some kind of notification, but you're probably also busy and you may not get back to that inquiry until later in the day. So the bottom line is that the person making the inquiry, who's making the effort to try and contact you, is going to have to wait until you get an opportunity to get back to them. Now, this is where automation can provide some assistance to you as the business owner. Rather than just a simple acknowledgement message on the screen, when they press submit that says, oh, thank you for your submission, we'll get back to you. Rather than just that, we could construct an email that is a bit more personalized. For example, it could take the contact details, the first name of that person, and put together an email that responds to them. It's obviously not a person writing that email, but at least they get that straight away. And that will put at ease their anxiety about not being contacted. So that's a very simple example of marketing automation. So of course it's important for us to capture the email address, and that's why we make it a required field on any contact form. Even if you're primarily asking people to contact you by phone or text message, it's still a good idea to collect an email address because it's so useful for marketing automation later on. And while we're thinking about the design of the contact form, it might be a good idea to ask for their consent to contact them for future offers. So, and that's very easy to do. Just a little checkbox that says, would you like to be contacted for future offers? That's going to open up lots of possibilities for marketing automation down the track. Okay, and while we're thinking about checkboxes, why don't we further qualify this inquiry by perhaps providing a list of checkboxes which reflect the products and services that the business offers. So, if you're interested in this product, check this box. If you're interested in that, check that box, and so forth. So let's say we have 3 or 4 checkboxes that list the primary products or services of that business. Okay, so let's review. We have a contact form. We have a required field being, let's say, the first name, because that's useful to initiate communications. So first name is required, last name is optional, telephone number, depending on your wishes, probably a good idea to have a telephone number field, an email field, we'll make that required, a consent checkbox, so we are compliant with privacy legislation. There's a few more things to consider there, but that's a good start. And then 3 or 4 checkboxes that allow them to give you just a little bit more information about what they're actually interested in. Okay, now if we don't have any marketing automation built into the website behind that contact form, then at the very least, when you as the business owner review that inquiry, you'll have a good head start on how to approach contacting that lead. But with marketing automation, you could get the system to tailor responses immediately based on those choices. So if they're interested in product A, then the email that they get sent is tailored for that product. That is a very powerful thing when you think about it. Also, if they check that consent box for future offers, now obviously you'll need to go through a confirmation stage here, and that can be automated as well. But if they check that, then you can put them straight onto a mailing list, and that mailing list can also be automated. So a lot of this stuff is happening in the background. It's benefiting your business. It's making your clients more comfortable, and by being responsive to them. And it's also helping you pre-qualify those leads, maybe allocating resources in different ways to different leads, depending on what they have requested. This is all going to help your business. So that gives you an insight into what we do here at Xiaomi. We take your basic contact form, we modify it a little bit to capture a little bit more useful information. We add some automation behind it to make your job easier and to respond more effectively to the leads, hopefully giving you a better conversion rate. Okay, so we've made the contact form on your website more functional, collecting more information. And we've also thought about putting some automation behind that to make your life easier and to be more responsive to your customers. But that's not really marketing yet. How do we increase the likelihood that someone will actually fill that contact form out? That's marketing. And we can use a lead magnet to do that. So what's a lead magnet? Well, it's a really simple idea where you offer something that is perceived to be of value to a person looking at your website, and which is something that you're happy to essentially give away in return for a person's contact details, most commonly their email address. So that's a magnet to their attention, if you like. A really good example of this is an ebook, or perhaps a temporary access to some protected content, or a discount coupon that will give them a lower price on a product. There are lots of things that you can use just to motivate people further to fill that contact form out. Okay, so what next? You have that inquiry, perhaps you've contacted them, had a bit of a conversation, and if you make a sale, if you close that deal, fantastic. But most typically, a person may not be ready to buy straight away. So what happens then? If a client is interested in your products and services, but is not ready to buy right away, then a good strategy would be to put them into some kind of sequence of contact, a nurturing sequence of emails, for example, or follow-up calls. And if they are emails, then that can be automated. If they're follow-up calls, then a CRM or a customer relationship management tool can prompt your sales team to make those calls. So the infrastructure, whether it's automation or a CRM to assist people following up, that is going to allow you to develop that warm lead into a hot lead and then possibly convert to a sale. Depending who you talk to, that kind of nurturing system is part of marketing, or it's referred to as a sales pipeline, but it doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to use the general word marketing to cover all of these things. So that's dealing with a warm lead coming through your inquiry form that is not ready to buy straight away. And what I'd suggest is that we can use our automation to keep in contact with them by email, because that doesn't take any effort on your part. And of course, the content of those emails can be well written by a copywriter who knows what they're doing, who can present your services to them in a very enticing manner. Each one of those emails has a call to action and is an opportunity to take that warm lead and convert them into a sale. And what if you do convert them into a sale, whether it's immediately or whether it's a little bit further down the track after you've looked after them for a while. Well, your existing clients can also be put into a sequence or a system. We might call it a funnel, for example, that keeps them abreast of new products and services, and in that, and also perhaps higher level upsells from the one that they have purchased. So it's a good idea, and it's certainly possible with marketing automation to keep in contact with those people as well, at very little effort on behalf of the business owner. So again, let's review. We started with a simple contact form. We made the email address required. We added some checkboxes so that we could pre-qualify that lead. The business owner at some stage will obviously get back to that lead, but in the meantime, they're receiving an email or even a series of emails that is tailored towards what they've asked for. If that results in a sale straight away, fantastic. And for those existing clients, we'll put them in let's call it a funnel that keeps in contact with them and just provides updates on services that may be of use to them, upsells, special deals, and so on. If they didn't become a customer, then we put them into a kind of a similar nurturing funnel that develops that relationship and their comfort, so that it increases the chances of them converting into a sale. And all of that can be automated to a high extent, reducing the administrative load on the business owner and increasing the likelihood of sales.